The landscape of media has changed. At one point in time, there was nothing but newspapers. Then there was the TV news. But now, everybody's online, telling this and telling that, giving information, misinformation, misguiding people. So I guess I got to change with the time because everybody has. And welcome back to Everybody Has a Podcast, or everybody.
Everyone.
Yeah, you know what you're watching. Welcome back. And we're in October, ladies first, and it's playoff time. Volleyball wrapped up districts, and soccer will get into districts this week, but with soccer still getting things started this week, let's talk a little volleyball recap. We were able to catch the District 15 2A championship game between Covington and Millington.
Almost missed it.
Why did we almost miss it?
Because the air conditioning in the high school gym?
At Ripley High School.
Ripley High School was out, and so they were playing at the middle school, and nobody told us.
Yeah, so we had to figure out, when you drive up an hour away and you get to the venue and they have barriers saying, hey, don't turn here, don't turn here, don't turn here. And we circle around the whole building because we're just geniuses. Don't turn here, don't turn. We guess the whole high school closed. So we start putting our thinking caps on, and we're like, okay, the elementary school is nearby. You can see that off Highway 51. But the middle school is hidden. And I know where most buildings are made, it's got to be at the middle school because most elementary schools got a little baby gym. It has to be at the middle school. They have a regulation gym. And she looked up on the GPS real quick, and we just happened to just be going past it, went up the hill, found it, and we made it in time for the second and third set to watch Covington win in 3 sets. So what did we see once we got there?
Honestly, is it okay if I say what I said at the game?
No, because we let your Trojan bias subside for a second.
No, about how the performance was.
Oh, yeah.
How it looked like they didn't know how to play volleyball.
Well, that first set and a part of the second set.
Yeah, the second set that we walked in on, it just was like, Millington just kept making errors. Like, it really wasn't even like Covington spiking or Tipton doing anything special. Millington just kept making, like, hitting errors. It kept hitting backwards or hit the top of the roof and it'll go off somewhere else. It was just like
they beat themselves, and it's almost like Covington's in their head. The MVP is Miss McCullough from Covington, number 24. She did an outstanding job, but it was more like Millington beating themselves. Every once in a while you see on London Macklin, the blocker for the Lady Trojans, get a block. You see on Mallory Carter get a spike for the Lady Trojans. They both are all tournament, and they earned that, but it just seemed like it was a little lackadaisical play from the Lady Trojans.
Yeah.
So, but they'll try to bounce back because we're in regionals now. Millington will take on Memphis East. Covington has Ridgeway, and both the games will be played early in the week at Covington. Since Covington won, they get to host the regional tournament. And other area teams across the way from Millington and Covington, we have Lakeland Prep in 2A. They take it on Crockett County, and they're part of regionals. These teams will see each other in sub-state if they make it that far. As we go to the big dogs in 3A, Arlington survived and got out of that gauntlet, and they're going to take on White Station, and Houston will take on Central. Houston's the favorite. They've been very dominant, so you should expect Arlington and Houston to come out of there. And then in the private schools, we have St. George's in Division Single A, and then in Double A, the big schools in private school, Briarcrest, and I think they play Saturday on the 18th to see who will go to state. So those are our area volleyball teams are still alive. And as for soccer, like I said, we get ready for that this week. Brighton taking on Covington in a semifinal match, winner against Millington. So we'll be out there sometime this week to check that out. And then, you got, Collierville and Houston, try to get past them in 3A because everybody in the state is fearing those two teams. Collierville is undefeated on the season, and they beat Houston in the regular season finale 5-4. So
are they in the same district as Millington?
No, that's 3A, and then Millington's in 2A.
Oh,
so trust me, Mumford found out because Mumford moved to 3A this year. You don't want to see Houston. You don't want to see Collierville
because they got put out in soccer.
Yes,
and in volleyball.
Yes, because those are some strong teams on that side. So, Houston and Collierville, those young ladies own those two sports in this area, and they're competing on a higher level. But hey, they set a standard that everybody has to chase to. And speaking of volleyball, let's check out a few highlights from the championship game between Covington and Millington.
Fresh new styles, Jack Glenn on the beat.
Can't crave a little bit
second segment, and it's still football season, and we're getting down to the nitty gritty. A lot of teams are trying to get playoff position, and so Millington headed to Raleigh-Egypt Stadium. Man, that's a beautiful name, Raleigh-Egypt, to take on the Craigmont Chiefs in a crucial Region 8-4A battle for seeding. Craigmont needs to get a win because they don't have no wins in the league. Millington was looking to pick up a second win, so they can stay in a range of possibly getting a third seed, so they won't finish fourth. Mm-hmm. So, we watched a scoreless first half.
Yes.
Turnovers, good hard-nosed defense on both sides.
Yeah.
And then the turning point of the game, our boy Cole Hawkins, Mr. West End Media, he threw an interception, trying to get back to tackle, gets pushed into the play and takes a blindside hit. He goes down, and our boy had to be walked off the field, assisted off the field, and that seemed to flip a switch in the Trojans. Talk about that.
Well, I mean, was it John Thomas that got it, or who got that off the kickoff return?
Christian Green. They call him CJ.
CJ, yeah, I'm sorry, I
Number
forgot.
14.
He got it off the kickoff return, and then he just was running. That boy was running.
Yeah, 85-yard touchdown.
Just running. That's it.
His 85-yard touchdown return at the beginning of the second half, first score of the game. Then John Thomas added
that
2
was
points.
like the biggest wake up, you know what I'm saying? Every game, Millington got into plays like they're asleep until halftime comes and maybe coach chews them out, and then they realize, oh dang, we had a football game. And then they start to wake up. I feel like that happens. It's been common, they play. You're kind of confused. It's like, what's going on? Why aren't they making moves? Like, what's happening? And then second half comes and then boom.
Well, Coach Michaels told us after the game, it was more of a reminder. When Cole went down, it was like, we need something to spark us. We're going to win this game, but we need something to spark us. Yeah. We're not losing this game. So he remembered what his special team coach told him during the week. If we can get to the left side, we can go all the way on it. And as you can look at the replay, your replay did a great job of illustrating. Once CJ got to the left side, he had that wall that Coach was talking about, and it was going to the house, and he just outran everybody. So I think it wasn't like a come to Jesus meeting and getting on him. It was one of the things I think Cole's injury kind of
actually practicing what they
I think
putting to
it slowed things down for him. Like, hey, we just need to execute so we can get out of here healthy and with a win. Now we're on fall break. We get the rest a little while. Hopefully, we got a quarterback healthy so he can come back. Yeah. But John Thomas, the freshman. Two rushing touchdowns to end the game. Starting to come into his own. He seemed like things just come easy to him.
I think he's in the wrong position. I don't think he should be the running back. Now, I don't think he should be the quarterback. I mean, I don't think he should be wide receiver. I feel like he should be running back. Low key, I feel like because he's good at running the ball. I think that's what makes him a good quarterback against schools like Craigmont, is because he can run the ball. Well, and it's like,
one thing is going against your assessment is the age of football today. Nobody wants to be running back. See, back in the olden days when I was coming up, you wanted to be Walter Payton, you wanted to be Barry Sanders, you wanted to be Emmitt Smith. And I'm naming all these folks that folks got to go back and look up and like, who? And they have an RB by their name. Running back was the position, but now everybody wants to be ATH, athlete. Yeah. I don't care if you're 5'8", 6'8", you want to be athlete. And that's a status thing. And coaches try to find ways to utilize them as well, jet sweeps, put them in wildcat formation and things like that. So Coach Michaels, Coach Kraft, they're smart guys. They're going to put John Thomas in the right position. Yeah. But he doesn't.
Well, he's bigger than, Noah Thomas, and he's bigger than BJ. So I feel like and those are the main people that run, as the running back. I feel like he could do the same thing.
But BJ blocks. Excellent blocker.
Blocks,
his work on special teams, so you got to have that toughness there.
Yeah.
Noah has a natural eye. He can catch all. When his body catches up with his eye, he's only a freshman too. Yeah. So John Thomas, that's why he's a blessed athlete. He already has some physical tools and gifts. So basically, it seems like what we're saying in so many words, Millington's going to be okay in the future. They're going to take some lumps this year, get some growing pains. They got fall break, then they got Brighton on the road, tough rival game. Then they close out with Ridgeway. So hopefully they can win that game and move up in seeding before they enter the playoffs. But right now it's between Kirby and Haywood. Those are the two top teams. Lakeland's in there as well. And then 4A. Now we look at 5A. Mumford still undefeated, looking really good. And then 6A, You got Germantown, one of the top teams in the area. Covington down in 3A, they're one of the top teams in there. They're still undefeated. Just giving y'all a quick overview how the playoffs are shaping up. But a team to watch out for, and I'm going to say it here first, Houston Mustangs. But Thomas, they only won 2 games. Yeah, but they're going to get into the playoffs.
I'm actually I'm shocked myself that you're saying Houston.
Yeah, well, I see Coach Thomas over there, my good friend. Thanks for not to feel after me. I think their young players are starting to click, and their big win over Arlington this week. If they get into the playoffs, they still got a few pieces that remember how to do it. With the young pieces starting to learn their own way, they can win a game or two, maybe in the playoffs, and scare some people.
Is Cannon quarterback?
Yes, Cannon is
He's
starting
doing a good job.
Starting to do a good job, and got a nice running back over there to compliment him now. So Houston, just throwing it out there, watch out for him, you know. So don't be surprised if you see Houston making the second round.
But they're in the same district as Collierville, right?
Yes, and they end the season with Collierville. And Collierville took a tough loss this week to Lausanne. They're playing a very tough schedule. But the Dragons, you know, I expect them to be going on the road on the other side for the semifinals. I think they had the ability to win state. So if Houston sees them in the second or third round, I don't think they could get past them. But hey, they go to Collierville this year to end the season, and we'll see how battle tested they are, because Collierville owes them from last year, so they're not going to lay down that night. They're going to try to win that league outright, and they're going to want to take down their rivals. So we'll see how, by the end of the month, we know how good Houston is. So how good is Millington getting? Let's check out some highlights and see.
Check line on the beach, 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 check
A little bit of, you can't crave a little bit of Lady B time.
Okay, we're back with Sights and Sounds, and homecoming this week for Craigmont.
HOME,
So
it's homecoming, y'all. It's homecoming.
So just in case you didn't know what you were rolling up to, the Craigmont band got off the bus, excited in their powder blue shirts with breast cancer awareness.
Yeah, with the blue.
Yeah, blue with the
It's
pink
giving
red.
DG.
Oh,
Delta Gamma. That's our colors.
Oh, we're in the South. Everybody thought you were talking about Dollar General. Okay, you scared us there for a second.
Delta Gamma.
Okay, so the band gets off, and throwing gang signs on the show.
Yes.
Okay, so the band gets off. They get off the bus. It's homecoming, but I can't believe I witnessed the world's shortest homecoming.
Oh my gosh.
The administrator before the game is accompanied by Millington principal Michael Perry, and they go for the administrators meeting, and they go over all this normal stuff. So Mr. Perry overhears the Craigmont administrator saying, "We would like to do homecoming and the band performance." And the official said, "You got 20 minutes." He said, "We want to try to do both." And he said, "I guess we got to make a decision." Mr. Perry couldn't believe he was here. It's a no-brainer. You do homecoming, once in a lifetime thing, once a year. This senior girl gets this special moment. It's
but
decision.
literally, all you hear is a name and cheers, and that the band is playing.
And so the clock started with 20 minutes. This happens at the 18-minute mark on the clock. So in 2 minutes, they knocked out Homecoming.
I don't even know if they announced who was on the court. I think they just announced the winner. You hear cheers, and that's it.
And here's the best part. The Craigmont band is within eye shot, lining up behind, so to let them know you need to hair this up because we're about to perform. And the band director, Beyonce, the crew was ready. And was it worth it? Yes. Craigmont band is awesome.
Yeah, they did a good job. You know, even the cheerleaders that I was with, the Millington cheerleaders, they were a little too into it for my liking. So it's like, first of all, we represent Millington, okay? Up here doing all this hooping and hollering for the Craigmont band.
They're good.
But they were like, we cheer for the team. We support the band. I was like,
the girls had a good point there. Now,
I mean, they did good. You know, they the Whitney Houston.
I have nothing.
It was good. It was, you know, I was singing too.
Even I was singing to it. Yeah, I think all of us, young and old, because we all know the Bodyguard. We know Whitney Houston.
Now the drum majors, though.
Okay. You know, this sound like a 44-year-old man. Major S, drum major. Can y'all scale it back a little bit? We don't need y'all grinding so much and humping the
y'all
air.
Y'all are kids. Be kids, please. Stop making these kids so grown so fast. Yeah. Slow down. Yeah. Be young.
Yeah, I have to do this sometimes, as you know, because I don't want nobody, trying to, press charges, and so I'm trying to, keep it in the closet, and no, just, I don't need to be looking at that. So yeah, but on a positive note, Craigmont is now there with Central and Whitehaven for best bands in Memphis. They go compete across the nation. They have a big tour coming up. They're going to go to college campuses and everything. I talked to one of the parents that's affiliated with them. Yeah, they got big plans. They're sending a bunch of kids to Alcorn State, Southern University. So not only are these kids getting a chance to do something they love, but it's going to take them to the next level, so they can get a college education paid for, and possibly teach the next generation or go off to do other careers, because not everybody's going to be a musician. But they're utilizing this great tool, the band, to help the kids at Craigmont. And we've seen it grow from maybe about 10 kids to a full ensemble on the field. And if you don't believe me, see it for yourself.
Draw your eyes to the 50. Introducing this year's TKO drum makers, Mackenzie.
Okay, now we're closing out with the Power 10. Once again, presented by Dynamix Physical Therapy. So it's that Dynamic West 10 Media, Power 10. And most of these teams have played 8-7 games, so that means we're getting down to 3 more weeks of this. So number 10, Christian Brothers pops back in at 3-4. They have a game against Liscombe Academy coming up. The last game they did play was a week ago when they lost to Briarcrest in overtime. Number 9, Tipton Rosemary, they had the week off. They will have Middle Tennessee coming up after they picked up that 49-13 win over Fayette Academy last time they touched the field. Arlington, they lost to Houston, 41-14. Like I said, that Houston team is starting to come around. They won't pop up in this Power 10 with their record, but it's about what you do in November. But Arlington, they're 6-2. They have a tough game coming up at White Station. You know, Arlington hasn't been on the road that much this year, but they're going on the road this week. MUS 5-2. They're at number 7. Next game will be against Memphis Central. After the last game they were on the field, they lost to Brentwood Academy. Number 6 is Briarcrest at 5-3. They will be in the near future up against Lipscomb. I think their break is coming up this week. And then number 5, we'll get into our top 5. Collierville drops down to number 5. They're 5-3 after taking a tough 49-35 defeat to Liyah. They will have Cordova try to bounce back. St. George's 6-2. They're number 4. They have Liyah coming up after they picked up the 21-15 win over St. Benedict in the showdown that we were hyping up last week. And Liyah, they don't have a gaudy record, but they have talent and they play a tough schedule. So St. George's, you get to test how good you are before you head into the playoffs. Germantown's at number 3. They had a week off. They'll try to get back into action in their next game after their loss to DeSoto Central. Number 2, at 7-0 after picking up a big 56-0 win this past week over Overton, the Mumford Cougars. They will take on their rivals, the Brighton Cardinals. That's it, thumbs down. This upcoming Friday. And I think that's where we'll be hanging out this week with our boy David Perry. We're going to catch up with him and see how things are going out there in T County. And that number 1, at 7-0, they had a week off. The Covington Chargers. They next hit the field against Dyersburg. So that's our dynamic Power 10. We got 2 undefeated teams left. They happen to be rivals. Like I keep saying, the only reason they're undefeated because they didn't play each other like they normally do in the first game of the season. People in Tipton County know why. There's a lot of rumors and out there. Go out there to T County and hear all that stuff there. But all I know is they did play each other, so they're both 7-0 right now at this point in time. So who will be number 1 when it's all said and done? We might have to flip a coin to figure that out. So any closing thoughts from you, Ms. Liyah?
No, just wishing all the athletes well, that they get enough rest on their break, and that they can feel better for the next game. Okay. Especially Cole.
Okay, well, I guess
I hope he feels better. I feel really bad.
I guess
from that hit.
You're learning something being a journalist, being on the sideline, hearing stuff and having access to stuff. It humanizes the game a little bit more, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, we saw him cart out the field. We saw his sister by his side. Mom and Dad were able to get down to the field to make sure. It was a scary moment there for a second. They had to get him off the field. But one thing I know about Cole Hawkins, I call him the Hawk, Mr. West in me. He's tough, and I'm sure if the doctors gave him an inkling that he can go back there, he would have. But he was upright, alert. It wasn't the brain, it wasn't the heart. So those are 2 things that a lot of coaches are concerned about when they have to cart a player off the field or walk him off the field. So he's going to bounce back. Number 6 is going to be out there before you know it. And it's a blessing in disguise. It's going to make him tougher. It's making John Thomas tougher. It's making all those players tougher for the future. But the seniors in the class, like the Damian Kings and all of them, the Trey Wamplers, who are seniors, they want it now, and they want these pieces to come to fruition so they can do something special now. But that toughness, it's a tough game, and being on the sideline, you get access and you get to see some things. We call them sights and sounds, and you also seeing things through your lens. Yes, I'm about to turn it to our closer this week.
But before that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, do all that great YouTube stuff. And we're going to expand this thing, grow this thing. So keep tuning in to see how we're maturing and we're getting to flex our muscle and learning how to do this thing we call Everybody Has A. And we'll see you next week.